from homeless and obese to the 23rd pick in the 2017 NBA Draft. This is the story of Caleb Swanigan. Hello, and my name is the Double I Baller, and today I want to talk about the story of a kid who had a homeless life, dead dad, an obese body, and ended up to be in the NBA and is now playing aside Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Let's get into the story. On April 18th, 1997, Caleb Swanigan was born to Carl and Tana Swanigan. Caleb grew up in an unstable home because Carl, father of Caleb, was dealing with the law and had an addiction to crack cocaine. Tana, his mother, had 5 other children. When he was a baby, his mother dropped him, leaving a bruise on his face, which would make Tana's kids move to Utah in a homeless shelter. After that, he bounced from Utah to Indianapolis, back and forth. Caleb said he went through 5 homeless shelters once he was 13. He had one thing common with his father. He was tall and very obese. Like, look at this video that I am showing right now. His father was 6'8" and 500 pounds, which led him to die in 2014. Which, of course, that would lead him to be obese and tall too, since when in 8th grade he was 6'2" and 360 pounds. Caleb Swanigan, of course, because I'm not talking about his father anymore. His mother decided to move the family to Houston, Texas, but his older brother Carl Jr. was scared that he would be gaining more weight with his mother. So in 2011, Roosevelt Barnes, former Purdue football player and sports agent, now worth $14 million, decided to adopt Caleb and move him to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Caleb then would, in his new home, ask to play basketball. Surprisingly, a sports agent like Roosevelt Barnes, worth $14 million, would be expected to force him into the sport and pressure, but that didn't seem to happen. Even when he couldn't jump over a paper. I said, "You're the greatest power forward that has ever lived, the best in the world," said Roosevelt. He did it to give him faith. Not to lie to him, but to give him faith in himself to actually become that. And even him himself, Caleb, has said that Roosevelt saw something in him that he didn't at the time knew that he had in him. Which this faith would turn into a good thing. This would make him want to lose some weight. This would help him in the future a lot. Caleb would go to Homestead High School and be named a McDonald's All-American, averaging 22.6 points and 13.7 rebounds as a senior. He was recruited to Arizona, Kentucky, Cal, and Duke, but decided to commit to Michigan State. But by the end, he then decided to go to Purdue and stay in state at Purdue, where Roosevelt Barnes, his adopted father, would be going to back when he was playing football before. But now, being a top 30 player in the NBA draft class of 2017, being selected at 23rd overall in the NBA draft, he played 2 seasons in college and was a superior shot blocker. He, in my opinion, was a huge steal from the Trailblazers, as I think he is a future NBA All-Star, because if he went to Duke or Kentucky, he would be drafted a lot earlier. The Blazers decided to draft Zach Collins, which seemed like a good player. Well, they didn't draft him. They drafted someone else, Harry Giles. But they traded for Zach Collins, which was a good move to join with Caleb Swanigan, which Caleb Swanigan the previous year in his first season, he played a lot better than his second season, but he thought if he did it another time, he would probably improve a lot, as in the off-season before that, he would do a lot more. But that wouldn't work, as he wasn't as good as he was going to be. He was going to be a top 20 player in the draft, or maybe even top 10. So in my opinion, he will be a huge impact for the Portland Trailblazers in the mid-future. And don't be surprised if you see him in an all-NBA rookie team this year. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and also comment your opinion on Caleb, and if this video was influential or not. If you guys want to see me do more stories like this, just comment down below and give me your feedback. Hopefully this gets his name out more and people will start watching him this season. Which I watched him this one time. He was actually the first player I saw when the first game I watched of the March Madness tournament. I watched the Purdue game against, I don't remember, and the one player who stood out was Caleb Swanigan, so that's why I kind of wanted to do a video on him. And I didn't even know about this. I saw him and then I looked him up to see more highlights about him, and it turned out he had a pretty good story, and I just thought randomly, why not talk about it in a video? So that's why I made it today. So in my opinion, he sure is. This story sure is. It's a great story. It just makes me want to play basketball and just wants to just go out and practice basketball. Like, it's such an influential story, which you don't see many players who are homeless, besides maybe Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler was selected 30th in the draft. And look at him now. So don't be surprised when you see Caleb Swanigan up there. See ya.